Devin Pike with the Dallas International Film Festival. And if you go to a film festival, you know you're going to get an amazing array of documentaries and subjects that will stick with you long after the film is over with. One of those is Cowboys of Color here at the 2014 Dallas International Film Festival. We have two of the producers, directors. Jacolby and Coy, talk to me about your roles with the film and how you came across, I mean, obviously a subject that you've been researching for a very long time.
Yeah, this process took about 2 to 3 years. My name is Poitier. I'm the director and producer of this film. To me, it was a long time coming because we've been working for a while trying to gather information, because the story about black cowboys is not a popular story. And until I started doing research, I had never heard of black cowboys at all. Coming from Florida, I had never seen any black cowboys, so this was a huge thing for me.
Yeah, I'm Jacolby Percy, a filmmaker. I'm born and raised in Dallas, Texas, Hamilton Park. So I've been filmmaking for the last 5 or 6 years, and this man here, he came up with the great idea of Cowboys of Color. And you know, I was a little reluctant at first because, like he said, I knew nothing about it. So I had to kind of do my research, and once I started to find out different things, it became very interesting, and I was, so he kind of brought me in to co-direct with this film.
Well, the interesting thing is, Coy, coming from Florida, cowboy culture isn't as prevalent as it would be in North Texas. So I mean,
Yes.
you have the Cowboy
Yes.
Museum
Yes.
in Fort Worth,
yes.
over by the convention center. But when you're thinking of cowboys, like you said, it's Roy Rogers, John Wayne, and so forth. But when you're researching the project, was it a conscious effort on historians to leave that portion of the West out of history books?
We believe so. It may not have been intentional, but back in those days, maybe 1900s when film was really big, of course, the black man was not looked upon highly. So not to be intelligent, to be able to invent things like they were. But I met a gentleman named Cleo Hearn, who was a legendary cowboy, who educated me on a lot of things and allowed me to come to the rodeos. And not only did I learn about the present-day cowboys, I learned a lot about history and the great impact that African Americans had on the West.
I'm wondering, I mean, just, from my own experience in doing research on the West, even those slavery, emancipation, all of that, North and South throughout the 19th and early 20th century, in the West, was there any more of an equalizing factor because the conditions were so difficult that the color of your skin might not have mattered as much as the West was being developed?
Well, what we're learning from history now, we're not the historians, but what we've learned from doing research from this film is that it was an equal in that time as far as pay. Of course, African Americans may going through different towns doing cattle, trails, they may experience a lot of prejudice and things like that. But as far as the cowboys themselves, and even today, I'm finding out that education between the cowboys, that cowboy culture, those African American, Caucasian, Hispanic cowboys, they have a bond, and just as it might have been back then. I guess it's the outsiders who don't know that there is a kind of bond between the cowboys and the cowgirls.
When you were putting the film together, you're talking to historians, you're working on archival material. How hard was it to assemble the materials from that era?
Well, of course, like you just stated, archival material is hard finding that. This has been a 2-year process, and not by accident. It was a lot of interviews, gathering of footage, trying to get clearances for different footage by a lot of legendary cowboys. So, it was a big process and a very good learning experience, along the way. So, yeah, we had to do a lot of that.
Because we believe also, because the stories are not in the books, a lot of the interviews had to come from the actual families of some of these cowboys. And like Cleo Hearn says all the time, it's called history for a reason because it's his story. So a lot of stuff we had to gather from the families who said, yeah, my grandfather did this and my great-grandfather did this. And some of those cowboys we lost. That's the one thing I do regret about it taking so long. Some of the elderly cowboys have gone on and they didn't get a chance to see that their stories were told.
Was Hearn your mother lode of information? Because you keep referring back to him. So was he the lynchstone that every said the sort of lodestone where that's where your information, or was there another person where he's like, okay, this person's research gave us all the rest of it, unlocked the rest.
Cleo called people. These gentlemen are coming. Liz Lawless, which is a local historian. And she pretty much gave us the historical facts, but they work together with Cowboys of Color Rodeo. And so their rodeo motto is, let us educate you while we entertain you. So it's just not a bunch of guys out there riding horses. They actually, during the time, the moderator is telling you different things that happened in the past. So, of course, he would be, I say, the #1 person who contributed to this, the interviews and the stories in this movie.
When you're working on shooting it, it's such a, I mean, the history is rich, but it's also very cinematic just by its very nature. When you're working on the archival footage, or even shooting the footage of the Cowboys today, where you're just looking at it going, this is gold. This is just amazing.
Well, I mean,
shot.
you know, the just watching the Cowboys, even at the rodeos, it's really exciting. We were seeing people get hurt, and it's just really intense with the bulls. And just going out and interviewing people and doing the reenactments. We had to do a few reenactment shoots where we back into slavery and different things like that. So we wanted to be genuine, and at the same time get footage from modern day stuff that's going on right now at the rodeo. So yeah, it's pretty intense. Those guys are tough, you know. So.
You've had a chance to screen it last night here at Dallas, and I'm curious if there was a question that sticks out from the Q&A session that you said, wow, that's something I hadn't really considered at that point. Did you have that particular moment?
Well, it was a lady there who was wondering how we're going to get this out to the youth. Because, as Colby stated before, he's from the hip-hop generation, maybe not in this interview, but he says all the time he's from the hip-hop generation. And in the hip-hop generation, we don't see black cowboys. We see it as them trying to, from where I came from, to Florida, it would have been like they've been trying to be Caucasian cowboys, because you don't see black men walking around with cowboy boots and hats. And so in the African-American neighborhood, and some African-American, that may have been a negative thing, but we're trying to show them, hey, this is a part of your history. This is a part of American history. Embrace it. If you know, it's something you don't have to run from. And that's one thing that stuck out with me was the lady that asked that question. What are we doing to get it out to the masses, to the young people?
And I think also to piggyback on that, we have to make the youth and even adults understand that people are getting scholarships from these like rodeos and this cowboy stuff that's going on. They're getting scholarships, and that's something that I learned that blew my mind. Like, this has been going on for years. Cleo Hearn, he had a scholarship. He was on a full scholarship.
First African American to graduate with a rodeo scholarship that no one even knows exists. So
yeah,
things like that.
It's like that. It's just another avenue for kids, and they just need to be educated and understand this is part of their history, like he said. So, yeah.
Cowboy culture as a whole seems to, I don't want to say disappearing, because it's a part of the American fabric that isn't going to go away. But it just seems that as we become a more urbanized society and there are fewer and fewer places to where a farm is an even viable option,
right.
Is that a concern for your subjects as you were talking to them for the documentary?
If you'd asked me that 5 years ago, before I even learned about this stuff, I'd have said yes. But once I started getting into this world, I realized that it's even getting more powerful, even on the minority side, Hispanic and African American and American Indian. And that culture is growing. I mean, it's amazing, the trail riding clubs that we're finding. The people, this is a regular lifestyle for them. And that's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I was amazed to find out that the word is getting out. The rodeos are starting to. We're seeing 5,000 to 6,000 people at rodeos, and in Oklahoma we're seeing 10,000. And this is it was surprising to us. We walk into this rodeo thinking, okay, this is an African American rodeo. Ain't nobody gonna be here. To walk in there and look around, it's a full stadium of people screaming. It was an experience for us. We didn't know.
Do you think that's a reaction to the urbanization of America, to where it's a pushback in some ways?
Yeah, I think. Well, I think just in as far as like urban areas, it's just not. It's something that's not talked about. And if it is known, I think we turn ahead to it because of the hip hop. We don't want to be associated with anything that appears to be, oh, you're trying to be white cowboy. Why are you wearing a cowboy hat? The only people we see with cowboy hats is John Wayne and these other figures that you see in Hollywood. So I think it's like he said, it's almost this secret society of people or something with these cowboys of color. I'm like, where do you come from? People tell me, oh, I'm from Oak Cliff, I'm from here. I'm like, and you grew up where? This is crazy. So yeah, I think it's just miseducation and just getting the word out there, because it's not out there as much as it should, and hopefully this film will put it out there where youth can see that and they can come, because it's actually a great experience to be in that rodeo experience.
All right, let's answer that woman's question. What are the plans for Cowboys of Color as far as distribution, getting it out there, and spreading the word about this subject?
I believe opportunities like this, that we can get the word out, just not in the African-American community, in all communities. We're looking to, as every rodeo that we go to will be there. We have an open opportunity for all the rodeos and African-American. We've been out to Fort Worth Stock Show Rodeo. We're out to Mesquite. So I believe it's just a conscious decision to hit the streets hard, spreading the word, and let people see that this is not an uncool thing. Mm-hmm. And kids these days are not all about the history and education. They may not be, but we're trying to find different ways to help educate them without boring.
Also what is it, the library? And
yeah.
We're trying to get it in schools, mm-hmm. possibly, to educate. And it's in, Lancaster?
It's in Lancaster Library, and it's in the Houston Library School System. Things like that are just starting to come through for us. The city of Lancaster, because of this documentary, has turned a park and named it after Cleo Hearn in the city of Lancaster. So that was pretty amazing.
It's fantastic. So
things like that was starting to help spread the word.
Outstanding. Well, again, thank you for bringing this documentary to Dallas. Thank you for an amazing look at a culture that it's one of the great things about documentary filmmaking is being able to dig into a subject and just be able to say, I had no idea that this happened.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
Gentlemen, thank you. Congratulations on a fantastic film and a great reaction here at the festival.
And can we thank Texas Black Film Festival, too?
No, you can't.
Oh, we can't?
Absolutely.
We'd like to thank David Smalls and all his crew and team for the amazing reception they gave us at the Texas Black Film Festival, and for Dallas International Film Festival for allowing us to be here. We really appreciate it, and thanks for helping us spread the word.
You can find out more information about Cowboys of Color at dallasfilm.org. Gentlemen, again, thanks a lot for coming. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.